philosophical Liverpool fan ready to move forward.
Poor normal Liverpool fans. Poor normal Liverpool fans.
I wonder if we've got any like professional slugs in the wild, as in like professional footballers who listen to the pod. Newcastle United, Champions League winners. Could they? Newcastle United winning the Champions League or Tottenham winning the league? Which one is more likely? What is he doing?
Jim, can I ask you a question, please?
Of course you can.
You know, it's not more of a question. It's actually, do you feel sorry for the Liverpool fans who don't want a replay? Do you feel sorry for those guys? Because they're just getting caught up in all this mentalness. These are just normal Liverpool fans going about their day, understand it was a difficult decision. It was one that was, went against them, and it was frustrating. I was frustrated for Liverpool fans.
Yeah,
I was. But there are some going, can you guys just shush a little bit? Like when Klopp came out and went, when he went, oh, well, I think this should be replay. This is unprecedented. They went, oh, it's carrying on. We thought it was over, but it's carrying on.
It's the old Mourinho meme. It's that one.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, man. Do you think they were like poor philosophical Liverpool fan ready to move forward?
Poor normal Liverpool fans. Poor normal Liverpool fans. This is what
because
I feel for them, Jim. I feel for them.
So what? They've got to. They've been furious, understandably furious. Saturday, furious. Sunday, furious. There's an apology, but an apology is not good enough. The club come out with a statement saying we're going to have to look at all different avenues. All different avenues seems a bit heavy, but all right. Well, I understand it feels like you've got to escalate it somewhat. I don't, but I guess, and I'm upset because we want to be an unbeaten side like Tottenham, like Arsenal. But it's Tuesday now, and I've had to just listen to Jim do a video on it. I don't think he'd ever do a video on it, Jim, but it's got to that point, and something needs to change, says Stephen Warnock. Sue Smith's chimed in. Everyone's getting stuck in. Dermot Gallagher's, he's chiming in. He said, enough. We've got to change something. Everyone's agreed with it. Yeah. But it was clearly a mistake. Tuesday afternoon, or maybe it might even be Wednesday morning, the audio comes out. Oh my God, the audio, because they've been screaming for the audio. Jamie Carragher said we needed the audio. We've heard the audio. Right, it was a shit show, but it was clearly human error, panic, and something to clearly learn from. But do you know what? It's Wednesday afternoon and we've got a big game tomorrow and we need to start moving forward. And it's been a difficult week, but let's get into that next game with a focused mindset, positive about the future. And in that mindset, let's listen to Jurgen Klopp, who at the start of all of this was very, very mature and reasoned, with an understanding that it's not about one angry Liverpool manager. It's about everyone as a collective understanding that this isn't working right now and we need to try and find steps to solve it. So I'm going to click on this video about his press conference. And then he says what?
I think
replay it.
We need a replay. And people are getting bored. Like people in the chat are saying it's boring. It is boring. We're bored. We're all bored. I was bored of talking about this in the analysis of the game. I was sitting there going, hang on a minute, Spurs are unbeaten, second in the league, and all we can do is talk about Liverpool. And this whole week has been dominated by the ego of a section of Liverpool fans who are demanding that the rules and the way we do football is changed because this happened to them. That's my issue. That's why we're still talking about it. And just to go back to what you just said, Jim, about the people getting involved. They're looking, this is a big story. I am a pundit. Better get in somehow.
That is literally what I was thinking about it. Yeah. Oh my God. The patrons are popping off in the chat right now. Ollie Sage, who, if you do want to become a patron and see us essentially bully Ollie on a weekly basis in the mailbag because he's in love, then you can do so for less than a London pint. Links in the description. Come and join the over 500 Nosh monsters out there. I was at Fleet Services last week.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel on edge? I don't know if you've been to Fleet Services since the joke, but it is.
I'm there pretty much. I'm there 3 times a month.
Oh right, yeah, I do feel on edge. I'll be honest.
Because the joke about us all meeting up for a nosh at Fleet Services is sort of long standing, and being at Fleet Services and then getting caught by a slug is like, well, is this a joke? Are we going to, are we full of shit, or are we going to go through with this? The wife and kids are in the car.
I think
the wife and kids are in the car.
Yeah, and I literally just ran in because I was sort of having sort of panic thoughts of needing a wee. So we went, oh look, there's Fleet Services going to pop in. So I can't I can't do another 15 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to take for you to orgasm. So I can't do that. But yeah, I bet there are some people within our community who are thinking, this lot are bottle jobs. They're not going to do it, are they?
Yeah,
they're not going to do it. This has gone on for nearly a year now. I don't think this is going to happen. Amazing stuff. But yeah, I don't know what world I'm living in because the replay thing comes out, which I'm just like, what? What?
You knew
I was like, Jurgen, no, as Paul Machin would say, Jurgen, no. Don't do that. You had the moral high ground of being the guy in the eye of the storm. He was calm and understanding. And then you say that. But then I'm living in a world where Mark Goldbridge is defending him. And he makes quite an interesting nuanced point. Where I've listened to. I often when I don't know why I end up sort of having TalkSport on at the time that Mark Goldbridge does his show. Right.
He's been banging the VAR drum like incessantly. Every time there's a poor decision, he's like, get rid of it, get rid of it.
Right.
And this sort of plays into his narrative. So I imagine that's why he's doing it. Also, he's got a job as Mark Goldbridge to curry favour sometimes to buffer some of the abuse that you might get from a certain fan base, and I respect it. And it is the game. If that is true,
and
if it isn't true, that's what.
Yeah, well, I think he does generally believe it, but I get what you're saying. It's a great way to
curry favour.
Oh, yeah. Hang on, is that Samism? Is it curry favour or is it carry favour?
I think it's curry favour, isn't it?
I'd like to.
We're learning a lot. I mean,
can we get a judgment on that one, please? Curry favour. You're thinking curry flavour, aren't you?
No, it is curry favour.
Curry?
To attempt to gain benefit and integrate oneself by a fisher's courtesy or flattery. Curry favour, yeah.
So what, the word curry, C-U-R-R-Y?
I've literally... I've literally... And that's not flavour, it's favour. And I've literally just read it from the Oxford Dictionary. So we don't need to debate this.
No, I'm not saying that. I've just never heard the word... Is there another sentence where I can use the word curry, but it not be curry?
I'd like to eat a curry.
No, but that curry's as curry there, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think it's a specific phrase.
Right. That's sad, isn't it? That's a sad existence for the word curry in that iteration, that it only lives within that one sentence. That's a bit. Right. Here's a bit. What is a word that is... What's a word, though? Yeah, in a second. What's a word that is only used in one sentence? Like curry favour.
Okay, the expression curry favour derives from the currying, that is curry combing, not cooking, of a mythical French horse called Fauvel. That's where it from. Curry favour. That's the etymology.
I think you're trying to Eustace Bells me. Or Eustace
I'm literally reading it off a website. Do you think I'd have made all that up? That would have been so random. Curry combing a French horse called Fauvel.
Would have been impressive. So a lot of people, so with the replay thing, because I get the VAR thing's boring, but the replay thing is interesting in the sense of like, if you really want to go down that road, like, and how, like, if you want to pull at that string, is that right? Thread. God, I'm at it now.
Yeah.
If you want to pull at that thread, it's just an utter mess, isn't it? It's an utter mess.
It is. Of course it is. It's look, you can change the rules to avoid certain circumstances happening in the future, as has done many, many times. The rules of football and the way VAR interpret the rules and react to them has changed constantly since it's been brought in. This is
like
just
the Champions League final, right?
Yeah, Champions League final, the way handballs are looked at, the way offsides are looked at. It all changes every season, but it all comes down to one single thing, and that is to rely on the opinion of a human being and hope that he gets it correct. VAR, as Postecoglou said, VAR has put people in a situation where they're thinking, well, VAR should eradicate all error, which isn't the truth. And that's the biggest issue here.
Yeah.
Is people look at VAR and go, how can you keep getting this wrong? The problem with this instance is they got it so badly wrong.
Yeah, it was a new level of wrong. Right.
It was so wrong. But it is almost like, when you listen to the audio, it's fucking hilarious because they were like, no, hang on, what? They're all this massive scramble.
Do you know
the game had kicked off. But you know what? Just quickly, the reason why the game had kicked off, so they couldn't bring it back, right? That was part of the reason, wasn't it? That it was the next phase of play.
It felt like it was. I think
4 years ago they would have brought it back.
You have to.
So things have changed. Things do change.
I think there should have been there should have been more bravery, more leadership in the moment.
Yeah.
I think what is important with the audio is that, this idea of any kind of conspiracy or anything like that, it washes away that, because I think you hear the panic, and it does, unless they've got actors in to get the audio like exactly the same, which is just like obviously not going to happen. Like
I'm sure that's been said.
Yeah, I'm sure that has been said, but I think that is an important thing when certain people are thinking about agendas and all that kind of nonsense. So I thought it was a good idea to put out the audio, understanding that you're going to get more abuse, but it clearly is about incompetence more than anything else. But yeah, you have to kind of, we were so close, weren't we? We were so close to getting away from it. Thing is, though, I guess this is the thing with all of these things, because we talk about a lot of this stuff all the time about making a change to things and things needing to change. And you do, I thought what Goldbridge said was a good point, in the sense that you kind of have to use the fire of the moment to try and create action in that moment, because if you don't, it just, the next story rocks up, right?
Yeah, but my issue with that is, what is the action? For Liverpool fans, their only desire really is to get this game replayed, because otherwise it's just a wrong decision. The action is what? To get better referees? It's just a nebulous statement. What? To get rid of VAR? Never going to happen. So what is the action? What are they actually physically calling for?
Yes, yeah. I think that's my point with it, is that in terms of looking to just continue to escalate this and make this as big a thing as possible, so that even if what doesn't happen, and Klopp says himself, this obviously probably won't happen, that would be unprecedented, blah, blah, blah. But by even sort of suggesting that, you are really kind of putting as much pressure on for as long as possible. That, like, it's a bit like Trump, right? There's this sort of theory that he sort of, because he said such utter nonsense and rubbish and dramatic stuff all the time, that he was so far along this way, he was so extreme, that when he literally just behaved himself on a presidential visit, people will go, look how presidential he's being. So with that in mind, and all any negotiation in mind, right? You go too far, and then you kind of meet in the middle, and then that is some form of change. So if that is kind of what he's doing, I get it. And if that is a means to an end, then fair enough. But as an actual idea of a replay occurring, it's nonsense. And actually, probably what's a smarter thing to do, which just popped into my head, and maybe it'll get picked apart, is maybe should Klopp be kind of pushing for a sportsmanship element here, where when Liverpool play Tottenham next, at the start of that game, they get given a goal.
Yeah. Fuck off, Jim.
Bielsa did it.
Of course not.
Bielsa did it.
I could not give a shit what Bielsa did. He's mental.
Wow, he's Pochettino's mentor, so you should respect him.
Yeah, look what happened to Well, I won't respect him because he's gone and joined Chelsea like the turncoat that he is. Yeah, that shows me the minerals of the man. Tell me this then,
It's
Jim.
only fair, though, isn't it? You should give him a goal back. It's only fair. Come on. Give him a goal. Give him a goal.
I would be absolutely disgusted of Tottenham Hotspur if they did that.
What if Ange said, look, mate, you want to be fair with all this stuff, right? So, I don't want to be, oh, God, I've lost my accent there. I think fair dues, eh? And he goes, look.
If he said it, then fine. Whatever he says is fine.
Yeah.
But my initial opinion is this is pathetic. Can I ask you, Jim, just to go back to the issue of referees, is that they want all this commotion. What do you think this does? Do you think this improves the environment for referees to make the correct decision? Or does it increase the likelihood that they're going to make more poor decisions? Because what I heard from that recording is panicked people, panicked lines, referees and officials after it. So going into the games at the weekend, are these referees going in relaxed and confident in their ability, or are they going in thinking, if I do the wrong thing here, I'm going to create a week's worth of news? So is that good for our referees to be loaded with all this shit that's been happening this week when they're going into referee games because of one incident that happened between 3 or 4 people that are supposed to do a better job? Now, every referee's going in there going, fuck, I better not fuck up here. Not fuck, I need to make sure this game is fair and proper. Is shit, I don't want Jurgen Klopp talking about me next week. What really needs to happen, he needs to have a semblance of professionalism. He needs to be quiet and he needs to coach his team. That's all that Klopp needs to do. He does not need to get involved in this. If fans want to... If fans want to sort of bleat on Twitter, that's what Twitter's for. Social media, discourse, mayhem, cesspit of what it is, right? You can go on there and be a fan and do that. As a manager of a football club, it's not his job, and nor is he ameliorating the situation to go on there and say something as significant and stupid as we should replay the game. It does not help or move the position forward at all.
I mean, I agree. I'll be honest. I think it's after such a good take, it's such a bad take, and I'm like, why have you done that? Yeah, you wasted it
because the mask was up and then it slipped. That's what happened. He paid this sort of stoical position. Oh, I'm going to be, it's just happened, and I think people expecting him to explode. We all were. We all couldn't wait for it, and then a couple of days passed, and he just could not say something because that's who Jurgen Klopp is.
Couple of great comments here. Stoker says, Catherine, should Villa do that for Sheffield United? Should they give them a gold start?
Yeah, should they?
Yeah. See, I think that again, these are the threads that it's dangerous to pull at because you kind of end up going, where does it end and all that stuff.
I want the Champions League final replayed for sure.
Yeah. Do you know what I saw Paul's tweet? And I went, I don't know what you're trying to do here. But I'm staying out of it. He went, okay, if you want to replay it, who do you think wins the game if we play it again? Because he's suggesting that if you play the game again, the same players have to play in the game. So, Jordan, do you pop over just for a second? Did we just win the Champions League again? Jan
Vertonghen went. Jan Vertonghen said, "I'll play."
Did he?
I'll play. He came out on Twitter.
Do you see Alderweireld missed a last-minute penalty this week? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that. Thanks for letting me know, Jim.
Well, no, because he scored that screamer to win the league for. I want to say Royal Antwerp. Was it Antwerp? What? I can't remember who it was. Anderlecht? I don't know. Anyway, he's now on penalties for some reason in the Champions League, and it was to get an equaliser, and he missed it. Tom Jordan, a brilliant comment as well. Jurgen, there's too many games. Klopp wants a replay. Lost.
So can I just, before you go on to Alderweireld, right? I just want to pick something up on Ollie said. We lost the final 2-0. We did lose the final 2-0, right? We lost the final 2-0 to a penalty that was unfair, which the rules changed, right? Because of this penalty. And not one Spurs fan ever even entered their head that the game should be replayed. That's how ridiculous it is. Yeah. So look, it's hopefully this is the end of it and we can just crack on.
Poor take. It's a poor take. It's such a poor take. I can't find a way around it. And I think that's it. I feel for Ollie. I feel for the Liverpool fans who are like, look, you want to defend your club, right? Of course you do, and you want to find angles to do it. And people went after me this week because I felt like that final sentence in that statement, it felt a little bit entitled because they were basically going, we're going to escalate this. Also, it's almost threatening, right? And that's just
whoa, what are you gonna do?
And people got angry about that, and I was like, okay, I can probably see the angle of why you could do this, but this take is too far. That I don't think any Liverpool fan that I can respect can be behind.
I won't. No, and I can't find it right now. But there was a headline on Football 365, which is really good still. And
is it?
It was along the lines of it is good. Yeah, I like the journalism on it. It was along these lines. I'm paraphrasing. Is that the football world is with you, Liverpool, but our patience will only go so far. Our understanding will only go so far. And you're taking too much. You're taking the cake and the sandwich. I don't know if that's I feel like I made that up, but
yeah,
you can have a cake or a sandwich, not both. You want both.
It's not even a sandwich. You just created your own phrase. Well done. That's it. Well, that was it. That was exactly my point. I was like, oh, come on, you've got us with you. We're with you. We're all with you. We get it was wrong.
Let's work through it. Let's make VAR better.
Yeah. Let's make VAR great again. Well, which is impossible. But yeah. Anyway, what else could we talk about? Newcastle. That wasn't bad because I was like, I saw Goldbridge backing up Liverpool, and I was like, what world are we living in? And then the Newcastle game last night, it was insane. As in like, if you think, right, if you're a Newcastle fan and you go, I can't believe we're in the Champions League. Okay. And I said to you, you're going to play PSG in the group stage. How would you like it to go? You would go, yeah, yeah. Would you take 4-1? Yeah, I'll take 4-1, right?
Yeah.
Who would you like to score? Who would you like to score the goals? Almiron, Dan Burn, Sean Longstaff, and Fabian Schär with a 25-yard screamer after attacking the defender. I can't remember who it was. It was probably a world-class player, winning the ball, popping it off, and then curling in the top right corner past Donnarumma. What is going on?
Can I look? This is. I need to. I think. My position isn't of one that needs to, or anyone is expecting an apology. And if I did offer an apology, from me, who gives a shit? But I did say on TalkSport that I'm not having Newcastle just because they got a draw at AC Milan and they what was it? They beat Man United. No, they were 8-0 against Sunderland. And then
Sheffield
beat
United.
Man United. Sheffield United, yeah. So I basically had it so that they weren't, that I didn't think much of them, and the results flattered what they are.
Right.
But regardless of the stage and the situation that PSG are in, and they're not great this season. I think they're like 5th in Ligue 1 or something. But I think so. I don't think they're doing
but
that well.
yeah, I have heard. I've heard they have been stinking the place out a little bit.
But it doesn't matter. This is a Champions League final, Champions League group stages. You're playing at home. Yeah, this is a big stage for Newcastle, and they absolutely pumped them. And that type of result doesn't come from a team that isn't well drilled, organised, and pulling in the same direction. With a really, really good, if not somewhat great manager in Eddie Howe. What a great manager he's proving to be. Because everyone raised their eyebrows to a certain degree that say, all right, Eddie Howe's only going to be there for 6 months, maybe a year. This season, it will go badly, and it started really badly because they had a series of tough results, didn't they? And then
tough games, yeah.
And they continue to have tough results, and suddenly tough fixtures, and suddenly started to turn it around. So hats off to Eddie Howe. Hats off to what Newcastle have done thus far, and let's hope it doesn't continue.
Super. Do you know what? I'd love to know the truth from Eddie Howe, and not oh, I've been able to get half an hour with Eddie Howe. To the side. Can I speak to you for a minute? And you've got to tell me that, Eddie, come on, level with me. The Murphys, I honestly, Sean Longstaff was brilliant last night. Lascelles was brilliant last night, but I think, there's a reason why Lascelles doesn't start for Newcastle these days, right? Fabian Schär has obviously upped his level. Joe Linton is a different player, as illustrated fantastically in a video on my channel, which is still available to watch. But all these players he's been able to bring through, I would love to know, in terms of the change of a squad and how you look to rise, but sort of retain the effort and tenacity of a group. If he's got the foresight to go, whoa, what are you doing? No, you're not selling Jacob Murphy. He's staying here. Almiron, I know he's only scored 1 goal in 700 games. He's sticking around. And for him to how much was it? With FFP, there was only so many changes we could make, and so we still had to have these guys involved. Because to be able to see past the names, because you could just so easily bomb them out, and so many managers would bomb those players out. But for them to be not just like important, but like, not just squad players, but starting and beating PSG. I'm always intrigued to go, what's the truth here? Like, was that always part of a master plan from Eddie Howe, or has he stumbled across that sort of Fergie style of needing 8 great players and a couple of other guys who are just going to work their socks off more so, because that's something often you can't see, but you can kind of feel. Or is the Premier League far better than... Are we at that tipping point where the Premier League is better than these other leagues? But it can't be that, because Arsenal just lost to Lens, who are supposedly better than Newcastle. And Man United, well, less said about them, the better. I don't know what the truth is.
I'm happy to talk about them. So I would say, Jim, that Eddie Howe's in a position where he hasn't, despite the money that Newcastle have got, hasn't as yet been able to attract some of these star players that existed in that PSG side last night. If you look at them, like the vast majority of them get in that Newcastle side. I'd have thought. The only one, and this will sound mental, the only one, there's a couple that may not. I think only Trippier gets in ahead of Hakimi, and that people would go, oh no, Hakimi's amazing, right? They will. They'll say that.
They're different.
Trippier. Right? So what? Who gives a shit? They're both right backs, right? This is if Eddie Howe had to pick one, he would choose Trippier. But there are other elements like Mbappe maybe and Ramos up top that maybe Newcastle might look at and go, yeah, I reckon they could get in our side.
Yeah.
The point I'm making here is that people like Ramsey and Longstaff and Dummett and even Dan Burn, they bought in. These are players that understand what's being asked of them. Nothing else has to be said. This is what we're doing. Are you buying into my ideas and what I'm asking of you? And if the answer is yes, then they will play, because the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. And in this instance, Eddie Howe has the players, the sum of these, has the parts in order to generate and create something that makes Newcastle work.
Yeah,
makes Newcastle work. And the thing is last night, regardless of the individual quality of the player, Newcastle as a whole was so much better than PSG, and that's because of people like Ramsey, Longstaff, Dan Burn.
Murphy, you mean, when you say Ramsey?
Actually, I'm thinking of the Aston Villa bloke who I'm absolutely in love with. I want to buy him. How can we buy him? Can Spurs buy him? I think he's out of our reach.
That's a great shout.
Do they need him?
Nah. I mean, it'd be a great shout for Man City, actually, as well. He'd be a great shout for you. That's such a great shout. I love him. You never get him.
I love him. How would you get him? How would you get him from Villa? When's his contract? He's got his ages in contract. Catherine, give us Ramsey.
Yeah, can we have Ramsey, please? Can we play a quick game of, and this I guess could be a new bit of Could They? Because there are several Could They? Moments or options out here, because I've just seen the chat popping off and they're going Newcastle United Champions League winners. Could they? I mean, they can't.
No, not even. No, it's not even could they. It's about could they as. No, I mean
no. Firm no. Absolute no.
They've
just beaten PSG 4-1. Could they?
And a tough draw out in AC Milan, against AC Milan. No, Mark.
Yeah, in the group of death. Do you know what? I think. Okay, here's a question for you: Newcastle United winning the Champions League or Tottenham winning the league? Which one is more likely? I know what my answer is, and it's not Tottenham.
No, but Man City also exist in the Champions League.
Yeah,
over 2 legs, Man City and Newcastle beating Man City over 2 legs.
But Man City can be out like that by someone else. Newcastle United have a far better chance of winning the Champions League than Tottenham have of winning the Premier League. Fact. That's a fact.
I think they're probably quite close. I don't think it's
not close. It's not close. You're running out of time, aren't you? Could they, the sort of that's why see what I'm trying to do here. Gently trying to move on the could they, because.
No, because could they's ours.
Time's running out, isn't it?
It's not.
Time's running out on the old Tottenham.
How can it be? Because sorry, hang on. What? How can it be running out for unbeaten? Only Arsenal Spurs are unbeaten with 5 wins and 2
Oh,
2 draws.
That's a good point. I didn't
Right,
see that.
say it when we're 4th and we have no chance. But at the moment, you can't say could away from us yet.
No,
That's out of order.
No, all right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like wait a month when it is out of order, when it is out of reach.
A quick question for the chat. Quick poll for the chat. Newcastle to win the Champions League or Tottenham to win the league? Which one is more likely? Maybe because the Tottenham one is a better could they? Because it's even further afield, isn't it?
What I would say to support that is that you've seen teams of lesser ability get, like Tottenham did, got to the Champions League final, like Bayer Leverkusen did, if I remember rightly. Monaco went really deep, although that is a great Monaco side. Newcastle have a good opportunity to go deep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Thomas Martin says
Tottenham also got beat by good teams earlier on in the season, so lost 3 in a row. So that also counts.
Right. Thomas Martin says Tottenham Invincibles. Could they? I mean, they are unbeaten.
Good.
And mate, oh my God, is that something that you've probably not even ever thought of? That if you went invincible with less draws and more points than Arsenal,
and didn't win the league, that would be the most Spursy thing in the history of our football club. That could easily happen.
Then you walk away. I think that's enough. I think you walk away, you get a different job, you never speak of football again. Like there was, I can't remember the name, and hopefully there's probably not any Americans in the live chat right now. But if you are and you do know who I'm talking about, there was a guy, and it's an amazing 30 for 30 ESPN documentary. And it was about, I'm going to butcher this, I know I am, but I think it was it might have been the Chicago, I'm going to get this wrong, Cubs or something, some team that had been cursed for years and never gone to the World Series, right? Steve Bartman or something his name was.
The Cubs.
What was it? Steve Bartman. There's an amazing story about Steve Bartman who would go to the games all the time. And anyway, Steve Bartman was just a fan in the crowd, and the Cubs, let's call it the Cubs, were winning and it looked like they were going to get there. But they'd sort of failed time and time again. And they were 8 runs ahead, something like that. I'm killing this story, right? But then the ball looked like it was about to go out, or it could be a home run, or it just needed to be caught by someone. And basically, this Steve Bartman guy stuck his hand out and got in the way of it, and everything absolutely crumbled before their eyes. And he, after that, literally just disappeared off. Everyone wanted to talk to him, everyone wanted to interview him, but he just disappeared off the face of the earth. That's you. If you go invincible and don't win the league.
I'd run in front of a Navico lorry.
Right, specific. Yeah, that would be crazy. Okay, another good day. Chelsea. Could they get relegated? Obviously not.
No.
They spent £1 billion, but could they? Imagine if they did.
No.
Well,
I mean, it'd be incredible. We've won a couple of games, and they're all sorted now.
Yeah, well, exactly. You would have thought so, right? But they've had a couple of injuries from those games. They were able to beat, who was it? Fulham at the week. And maybe I'm just trying to get something going here. But I know maybe we've gone through this already. But their fixtures, honk. Burnley next up. Then they've got Chelsea, Brentford, West London, Middlesex / West London derby. Then they've got Tottenham, then Man City, then Newcastle, then Brighton, then Man United. So by the 6th of December, and I spoke about this on the Ripple Effect this week, there's 2 managers there in Erik Ten Hag and Pochettino who could be fighting for their lives. Man United, could they go down? Could they? Is it all a fallacy, all these players that are coming in to solve it all? Because they just got done by Galatasaray, didn't they? Shame.
I mean, I'd rather, the Chelsea one, I feel like, I couldn't give a shit. I'm so indifferent to Chelsea. It's kind of an interesting dynamic and the way they've built their squad. I get it. It's interesting. Lots of players, ex-Spurs manager and all that sort of stuff. But Chelsea are not worthy of conversation really on any legitimate sense. They're a mid-table club.
Sure.
And until they're anything other than a mid-table club, we've got to give them as much attention as we give Nottingham Forest or Fulham, I think. Manchester United is interesting because it feels like they're imploding as opposed to just just settling.
Also a mid-table club, just to be clear.
Yeah, but it's more fun because they're properly imploding at the moment. So
Right.
if you look at... Did you watch the Galatasaray game?
I watched about 60 minutes and then went to get to the penultimate episode of Traders, where Mysterious Paul, who was out of the edit, got culled. And normally, this was a couple of weeks ago, the last podcast, where I spoke about Paul. Poor Paul is in the Australian version of Traitors and somehow has been completely edited out. And I've got some answers on it. And actually, someone who made the board game is going to send me the Traitors board game, which I'm really excited about. But normally... sorry, go on.
But you're probably one of only 4 people that are watching the Australian Traitors at the moment.
It's on BBC and it's really good, guys. It's a great format. You know, I love a format. And if you trust my formats, my taste on formats, then you'll go and check it out. But the fact that he's just edited out of the whole thing is absolutely amazing. And even to the point where normally when people get murdered, he got murdered. Not literally, right? When they get murdered, there'll be like a little sign off in the car as they leave the hotel that they've been involved with, going, I think they murdered me because blah, blah, blah. Paul got nothing. He got nothing.
Paul probably has come out that he's like a nonce or something, and so they couldn't cancel the program, but they couldn't show him at all. That's probably what it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, he looked a little bit... Nah, leave it.
Can I just go back to Manchester United for a sec?
Sorry.
That's
yeah.
All right.
All right.
So I watched the entirety of that game. What a game of football it was, by the way. Galatasaray is so much fun to watch. And obviously there's the incredible story of Zaha coming back. He's bummed Moyes' daughter. He's been bombed out the football club. And now he's back with a vengeance to score against his old club. And don't you think they made a mistake by not persevering with him just because of that? I do.
You think was it that specific? It was like David Moyes. He was like, "I hear you've been with my daughter." It's purely vaginal, right? Purely vaginal. And Wilfried Zaha's going, "Sorry, man. I'm sorry, bruv. But nah, I bummed her." He said, "No, you can't do that. Purely vaginal."
Yeah.
I bummed her, man. I'm sorry, yeah? Well, you're out. I can't have you here as a Man United player. Wow,
that's very good. I think they should have risen above it. Yeah, what goes on in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom. Yeah, unless there's any sort of unless there's anything else untoward that goes on, then maybe it shouldn't. Anyway, we're in dodgy ground here.
Sure.
Can I just say though that it was a great. Football does serve up these beautiful poetic stories sometimes, and for Zaha to go to Galatasaray, Turkey no less, and play in the Champions League. Like move countries to a much lesser league in order to realize his dream of playing in a Champions League, and in the group stages they're drawn against his ex-club, and for him to go to that club who there certainly is going, up against them as favourites, to score was fucking wonderful. But just all I would say is that Manchester United are not in trouble because, and again another apology I might need to make, is Højlund is the real deal. He's very fucking good. I was told, and I appreciate it, and I was wrong, and I'm incorrect.
We actually we called Zaha as well in the Ripple Effect. Really buzzing about this. Really buzzing about Zaha. It just... Did you? Do you know what? And this is a new bit, right? And I think this could have huge legs, right? Because someone tweeted me something, and I thought, and they just wrote football, innit? And I was like, that's great. And I don't know if I've said that before. I don't know why he said it to me, but I thought, that's great. And there are certain things that you just know are going to happen. It's football, innit? And the PSG game... I felt quite calmly confident that Newcastle would win that. It's football, isn't it?
I know what you're saying. You just kind of have a feeling you're going into it. Like I had the same thing with Spurs against Man United. I just thought we're going to win this.
Football, isn't it? Do you know what's football in it? And let's see if we can get this right.
Yeah.
You lose to Luton this
without a shadow of a doubt. Yes,
guaranteed. Guaranteed that you lose to Luton.
People are saying the litmus test was Arsenal and Liverpool. No. The litmus test is going to Luton and winning when you're expected to win. Yeah. That's the litmus test. And 12:30
Saturday. Horrible time. Horrible. Although I guess the other
And,
spin on it could be that, like,
Son's a doubt as well.
is he? Oh, mate, guaranteed.
Yeah, Solomon is
guaranteed.
out. Solomon is been injured. Is injured for 3 months now.
Mate, if you pump
Everyone's
Luton...
banging on about their injury list. Spurs is significant. Yeah.
Is yours bad?
3-0, something like that.
Yeah. 3-0. That's
we've got nine players out.
Hang on a minute. Something's going on here. Yeah, man. Exciting.
We've got 9 players out currently.
Really? Everyone's injured. There's so many injuries.
Oh, hang on a second. My bad. 8. So we've got Perisic, Bentancur, Sessegnon, Brian Hill, James Maddison, currently being assessed. He's 50-50 for the Luton game. Son isn't on this list, interestingly, so maybe he is fit. But yeah, Maddison's 50-50.
Is this on the premierinjuries.com? What's your source? Yeah, fair enough.
Premierinjuries.com.
But still, you've got to be going, if you want to do something this year, if you want to, if you
Yeah.
want to be the Invincibles. Invincibles? Oh, my word. That's what's worse. If you're an Arsenal fan, I'd love to know. What's worse, if Spurs are invincible or if they won the Champions League first? Love to know.
Champions League. They'll be because it would have done what they couldn't, so that it 100% be Champions League. Sure.
Right. Is that not better? Is it not better to do what they can do better than them?
That would be good, but I think Champions League, they can't do it. We've done it, so Champions League Europe, you'll never sing that.
Okay. I'm just going to close my door. Hang on a sec.
The issue we've got going into Luton, if Maddison doesn't play, like there are certain players in every club that are intrinsic to how a system is played well, and James Maddison is the fulcrum of what Tottenham do well. And Son is important, but Richarlison got this young kid Velez who could play up front, and he's played at a better level than Luton Town. But yeah, not having James Maddison is a massive issue. It would be sort of okay if Lo Celso was fit, but he isn't. So we'll literally have no number 10 / attacking 8. Probably have to pay there.
Just get to January and you'll have Ramsey, won't you? Bring him in. Jobs are good. Right.
Yeah, I think we need to spend all the money in January.
We've got lots of love. All of it? All of it gone?
Spend all the money again, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we'll feel right, yeah.
Right, lots of lovely comments from a couple of weeks ago that were funny at the time. Are they funny now? Let's find out. We might have to remind you of some of the bits that was gently forming just 2 weeks ago. So apologies for not being about last week. I had COVID, and then I thought my missus had COVID, but she didn't. So that got stuff in the way.
Doesn't have the immune system of a small child. No,
I seem to. Yeah. So seems like I've got way too much stuff of a small child. It's really disappointing. Anyway, sorry. Can I talk to you about Monday night? And actually,
tell me about Ainsley Harriott. Sorry,
right? No, I've got to tell you. I was in the world of football has been shocked to the core this week, and I've been shocked to the core twice. Right, so. I went to this football legends sort of induction dinner thing, right? And I went last year, famously met Clive Tildesley, and it was a who's who of people. And it was they were swearing in, is that the right thing to say? Ian Wright and Emma Hayes, which was brilliant. And I thought I was nervous on the way in because I thought maybe I'd finally lose my Ian Wright meeting virginity. I've been desperate to meet him my entire life. He was an investor at Ball Street. I never met him, but once he came into the office, shouted for Matt, our owner. I heard his voice, saw him skim past the door, and then he was gone. Never able to meet him. I do a Spotify podcast where I speak and touch into a microphone that he has spoken and talked into just 40 minutes before, but yet I've still not met him. And then even at this, I was at his Hall of Fame dinner. It just didn't feel right. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to lose my meeting of Ian Wright virginity that way, where he's gone, oh, hi, yeah, and he's just trying to get away from me. I just didn't want it. So I kept my distance. Right. But there was so many different people there. Loads of Palace people, loads of Arsenal ex-players, Keown, Alan Smith, Alan Pardew. I actually saw Alan Pardew He was in a table next to Sean Dyche. So Sean Dyche was there, who didn't care at all that he was just there, just sipping away on beers in the exact attire that he wears on a match day. And he was opposite Alan Pardew. And I saw Alan Pardew turn to him, start chat to him for a second, and he made a phone. Alan Pardew did, and then he's like, "Get your phone out." And basically, he tried to get Sean Dyche's number. So if you see Alan Pardew as an assistant manager at Everton soon, you know where it all began. But the main event, in terms of one of the stars that were there, was Ainsley Harriott, right?
How can you do a main event?
Well, I think it was just like, is that Ainsley Harriott? Because it's like it's a football event. So like Ray Houghton was there, and Alan Kirbishley was there, and Dean Holden, the former Bristol City manager, was there. All these guys were there, right? And then Ainsley Harriott just sort of walked in. And everyone was desperate for a photo with Ainsley Harriott because, of course, it's Ainsley Harriott. So we have this dinner.
Is that a joke?
No, I'm serious. Everyone's desperate to. Ainsley Harriott's there.
Right.
What?
Go on then.
Okay.
Why would everyone be? Who's?
I think people like
ex-footballers are clamouring to get a photo with Ainsley Harriott.
I don't know about ex-footballers, but it's just like Ainsley. Like I've worked with Ainsley Harriott, and it was another one of those ones I've said before, where it's like it's so long ago that I can't go up to him and go, "Me and you drove to Balham Chippy and bought chips once, and we chatted about you doing Strictly, and I worked with you for 5 days." Because he'll go, "Oh yeah,"
he might remember.
And it's horrible. Yeah, but it's too risky. I can't do it. Anyway,
I understand it.
But the thing that was unbelievable and shocked the whole 1,000 people there, it wasn't 1,000, probably 300 people there, right? 60 tables of people, right? Was that Jeff Shreves, who presents it with Kelly Dalglish, he goes, "We've got a lot of famous people in the house today, and we just want to give them a chance, give them a bit of a wave." So he starts running through the names, as I say, Ray Houghton, goes to Ray Houghton. Hi, Ray. Alan Smith's here. Alex Scott's here. All these different ways, right? And then, right, they go, and famous, your favourite chef, Ainsley Harriott's here, right? And so with no audio, obviously, it's just a live shot. Ainsley Harriott does this. Ready? Right. You can see me on this camera, right?
Yeah.
That's good. You don't need audio, right? He does this. Ainsley Harriott cuts a shot of Ainsley Harriott. Right, here we go. Right, he stands up. He goes. I was sat next.
That is unreal.
I was sat next to the MD of Spotify, going, "What is he doing?" Well, obviously, right? He's cooking something, isn't he? And then going,
yeah,
and then tasting it. Ooh.
I can tell you what it looks like to me, and probably what everyone else looks like. It looks like he's touching the end of his cock, and then.
I thought he was doing a bit of a Wilfred Zaha, where he's going. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I was like, did he just... What just... And he's cooking. He's cooking. Guys, he's cooking. He was cooking. Oh, it was hilarious. Honestly, it was so good. I was so excited to tell you all week.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. Anyway, so maybe give that one a skip on the next live shot. Ainsley, if that's all right. Right.
No, do it again.
Do it again. Why not? Bloody hell, why not? Right. Here we go. Jim's Big Laugh Award from a couple of weeks ago. A failed slugs in the wild moment. I was on a packed bus the other day on my way home from work. I have a bad habit of looking at other people's phones, and would you believe it? JLA was on the screen of the guy sat next to me. Similar to a romantic novel, I imagined our life together as slugs, bantering about what really happened, sandwiches and our noshing off escapades. As I went to make a comment, his eyes met mine and he said, "Sorry, pal," gesturing to the stop button across from me, to which I responded, "Sorry, pal," and stood up to let him out, gutted. a shambles of what could have been. But I'll add, if you're a slug that was on the V1 from Manchester to Lee, not last Monday, the Monday before, just know that I see you. And also saw you hastily clicking off a particular blessed woman's Instagram story, shaking bare ass. Filth.
Yes.
So yeah, if you do see each other next time,
can we find that man? Can we find him? Find that man. We want to see. We want to find whoever was on the V1 bus from Manchester to Lee. We need to find you.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
not this Monday before.
By the way, an idea that I've had. So it just popped into my head, right? I wonder if we've got any like professional slugs in the wild, as in like professional footballers who listen to the pod. I'm sure it's nonsense. I'm sure there isn't anyone, right? But how good would the Ainsley Harriott live shot be as a goal celebration? How good would that be, right? Imagine that. So someone scores, I don't know, like pick a footballer. Whoever.
Any level.
Harry Kane, right? Scores a goal, runs off to the corner flag and goes... Right. So if you are a pro footballer listening to this right now, I there's a massive shot in the dark, obviously.
Yeah.
But if somehow, first of all, could you just DM me or Flav just so we know? We won't tell people who you are. It'll be a secret footballer because obviously we want to allow you to do it. But if you do score this weekend and fancy doing the Ainsley Harriott chef celebration, that will be just the most incredible nod to the podcast. I don't think it's possible.
Weirdly, I'm still in the position of no one really listens to this.
I know. I generally like to live in that space. Yeah. Yeah,
you mentally have to, otherwise it's fucking terrifying, right?
Yeah.
But they repeat. I'm curious. So, what is there any famous people watching or listening?
Stephen Tries listens a lot.
Does he?
Yeah. And I hear it in his commentary. Like he talks about power moves and things like that when he does stuff like that. And he'll message me every so often.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Stephen listens. But yeah,
Probably
I wonder if there's whatever level. But if the game's being filmed and you score a goal, or even if you want to do it Sunday League, if it's being filmed, can we get the Ainsley Harriott celebration? That is the aim for the year.
Whatever level. Yeah. Five-a-side.
Darts,
send
whatever.
Them in.
Yeah. That is the
Actually,
celebration.
Any moment of success that you have where it leads to some sort of physical reaction, wherever you are, whatever the field is, Ainsley Harriott celebration. Can you send the videos to James so we can play them on the podcast?
Yeah.
That's incredible. We need to see as many Ainsley Harriott celebrations out there as possible. It could be winning the pub quiz, whatever it is.
Yeah, five-a-side goal. Yeah,
five-a-side.
and the winners are Ainsley Harriott's 11 or whatever, and just cuts to him. They go, ooh. Lovely. Right. So that was funny. Well done, Joe. Good luck finding the other fella on the V1 from Manchester to Lee. Celtic 69, lads, you've absolutely blue balled me. So this is a couple of weeks ago, obviously. Years I've listened to this pod, and for the first time, Flav has sat down to watch a Celtic game. You spoke about watching a Celtic game the other day because you're watching so much football right now. It's frightening.
I have an obscene amount of football, yeah.
I'm sat at the end of... So you're about to talk about this Celtic game on the pod a couple of weeks ago. And you say, I'm sat at the end of the bed, trousers around my ankles, and just as Flav is about to talk about my sweet, sweet boys, the tip's going in, and Jim kicks the door down with a tangent about Aston Villa. WTF. I'm supposed to finish myself off to Bournemouth chat now. Absolute joke. I'm raging. Because after that, Tom Jordan came into the Discord, didn't he? That's funny.
Yeah. I wonder what I mean, as a Celtic fan, are you buzzing the fact that Rangers have completely imploded and they are a shadow of what they should be? Or do you kind of want them there?
Why? What happened? Why? Rangers struggling, are they?
I don't know if you heard about this, Jim. I don't know. There's a certain manager called, do you know of him? Have you heard of him? Michael Beale, I think his name is?
Oh, is he on EastEnders?
Is it?
He's on EastEnders.
No. He's a football manager. Mm. I'm sure you've heard of him, Jim.
Really? Clearly out of his depth.
Maybe.
We could all put our weapons down on Rangers because, obviously we were all stung by it. Good decision though in the end, wasn't it? Good call.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
That worked.
Get the vermin
Worked
out of the
Anyway. Jagan Chichon. I've missed this. In Tokyo, your channel would appear all the time on YouTube, but in the UK, it doesn't. So I'd forgotten about you until I saw Flav on something. It's good, harmless fluff to watch whilst cooking. So well done. Fluff.
Cheers.
Fluff.
Harmless
Yeah.
fluff. 5 years in the making. Harmless fluff. Actually, I take a lot from that. That is good. Like if you can be a percussion in someone's life, I think I'm happy with that. If you're just tapping away while you cook, and we're just in the background, just providing light entertainment.
That's nice.
I'm well happy with that.
That's true. Yeah. I like what I loved as a bit maybe is like, was that a compliment? So I don't know if that's a good name for it or if there's a better name for it. You know, sometimes people like compliment you, but you're kind of like, that felt like a dig.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. Negging, isn't it called?
That face that you just did. Yeah. That face you just did was just what's
yeah. I get that a lot with comments. Like you kind of, but yeah. So harmless fluff. That's what I liked. It's good. Harmless fluff to sort of not sort of half listen to whilst I'm cooking. So well done.
I wish we had some area where reviews are displayed and it just says James and Flav for now podcast. Quotations, harmless fluff.
Harmless fluff, yeah. Do you know what I saw, by the way? I saw Twitter. It was really clever. There was a film that had loads of 5-star ratings, but The Guardian gave it 2. So they put.
What was that?
I can't remember what the film was, but for like a poster for it, they put Guardian, but in the middle and behind as the background, so that it showed the 2 stars, but it was surrounded by 5-star ratings. So it then looks like the Guardian has given them 5 stars as well. 5 stars. Yeah, really clever. Cool. Really
very
clever.
Good.
Extreme Jack, belting pod, top button service, some might say. That was then because we were talking about on a good roast at a good pub where you get filled up properly. Yeah. There would be the offer of undoing your top button of your trousers.
So, would you like me just to undo that?
Oh yes, thank you. I've just come. McSlash, sushi chat. Didn't know that was a bit. It's amazing, isn't it? Once the podcast's done, we just forget about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sushi chat. My mum is Japanese. Oh yeah, I told you that I could put away 16 pieces of sushi, and you thought that was a lot. My mum is Japanese. I've been eating sushi since I was born. I don't think I've ever been full from sushi. I don't think I can get full from sushi. It feels like I've been training for sushi eating my whole life. Is this what it feels like to be an elite athlete? I guess so. Imagine that. Like, is there anything you can do infinitely? You know, like. Well,
I reckon I could smash up 5-year-olds infinitely.
What, and not get bored of it?
About that a lot. I might get bored of it, but I think I could do it proficiently to suggest that I could do it infinitely.
Is it specifically 5-year-olds?
4-year-olds I could do as well.
He's flexible. Yeah. He's not stubborn. He's flexible. He'll beat up any child. 4, 5. A sing. I just made me laugh. This channel has fallen off so hard with the inclusion of this deluded Tottenham fan. And I thought, I went, how long? And I appreciate that with a Sing, because Sing was there for the glory years of the podcast, which was prior to September the 12th, 2019, when you first made your appearance on the podcast. So he's obviously he's waited and gone, no, 4 years on, enough's enough. I'm making a comment. This channel's fallen off real hard since 2019.
Wasn't there another one? Have you got it about the geezer just going?
I did have it, and then I sort of reread through some of the comments before today, and it was quite long-winded. I sent it to you. I did send it to you, so I can find it. Do you want to read it?
I don't know. No, I don't want to read it out. It was just the first sentence to do.
Okay, I'm sure we can find it. It'll be here.
I can paraphrase. It was more or less it was along the lines of saying, Jim, you should get this Tottenham fan. But it's not like he was giving you advice, like he was your mate. Get this bloke off. He's damaging your channel. Get this bloke off your channel. I'm like, I was an usher at his wedding. He's not going to listen to you, is he? Or maybe he will. Maybe look and go, he has a point, that geezer.
Yeah, Flav, you got 5 minutes. Can we just talk? What am I supposed to do about that? Yeah, I'm just going to do the jaffing on my own.
Well,
I'm going on my own. It dies. The pod dies. Fact. All right, hang on. Is this it? Oh, I got it. Here you go.
don't have to read it all.
Do you want me to name him?
Nah.
Okay. Really disappointed you've given this guy a platform, James. I've never heard a more one-sided opinion on football, and that's saying something, because I've heard loads of it. No, it doesn't. Spurs were laughing at everyone when Mourinho, Nuno, and Conte won a few games, and they think this is going to be different. Ange is the first manager ever to come in and start winning non-stop off the bat. And also, the club is now in North London, and the reason we all proudly say it is because it winds these ones up so much. If we're going to talk about ancient history on the morals of clubs, then how can White Hart Lane officially flew a swastika?
Oh yeah, that was it. No, actually, we didn't. It was flown. If do you want to carry on, I can explain that actual story.
I'll just finish off this paragraph. Spurs were better for 8-ish years and rubbed it in every minute. Now that we're better again, they act like the victims, act like a big club, never win anything, and still this aura of grandiosity. Chelsea are scum, but at least they've got the trophies to back it up. We talk about delusion a lot in football, but at least when City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal make claims, they've got something to back it up. Tottenham is the most irrelevant and banter football club to ever exist. Harry Kane, last bit. Harry Kane, your top 2 ever player, left without a single medal. He hated being there so much that he gave up a Premier League goal scoring record. Hope all of you the worst possible result on Sunday. And don't worry about Ange. He doesn't give an F about your club. He kissed the badge at every other club he was at too, and he'll be gone sooner than you think. Remember Nuno's manager of the month? Lol. You've been told.
You remember? Just go back to that one. Firstly, there's a few things I'd like to pick apart there, but the swastika thing was in between the First World War and Second World War. England played Germany at White Hart Lane, and back then the swastika wasn't as it wasn't what it was after the war and after they did all those things, horrendous things,
right?
In the concentration camps and whatnot, right? But it was a symbol of the Nazi state which ran Germany before the war. What actually happened was that Germany played, and they like they had the England flag on one side, they had the swastika flag as opposed to the German flag on the other. A Spurs fan, or a fan, I like to think it was a Spurs fan, but a fan within the stadium climbed up the stadium and tore the flag down. Right. That's what happened. So in actual fact, it's the opposite of what he said.
Rattled.
The other thing he said, what was it? Yeah. The other thing what he said was, what was it? The Spurs, what did he say about Tottenham? About midway, about 3 lines to the...
Irrelevant banter club? Aura of grandiosity?
Yeah. Weird, isn't it? How irrelevant we are when you've spent time out of your day to post a 200-word comment on this very podcast. Weird how irrelevant we are, yet we somehow live in your head. And
rent free? Finally, are you charging rent?
I mean, I don't even know he exists, so it must be rent free. I'm definitely not paying anything.
Okay.
And then finally, how did it go on Sunday?
It was a draw, wasn't it? The draw.
Just a quick one on that. What if the game was replayed? I know we're done, right? But if the game was replayed, what point is it? The point of the goal? So did they start with 10 men? Did we start on 39 points?
I like that.
Did they have 9 men? Because that was a large part of the game.
What would you consider the fairest? Well, let's negotiate. What's the fairest way of replaying the game? Would you want to replay from that minute? Would you want the same players on the pitch? Would you want? So it'd have to be. Would it have to be nil? Would it be 0-0? Do you just literally full stop play the game? If there are players injured, do you wait until they're all fit again?
Yeah, exactly. If you've got a different team and different tactics, you're reacting to. If you know stuff after the game that you didn't know before, given them play them, aren't you then at an advantage? Yeah, I mean,
do you have to have the same officials?
You've got to have the same officials. Yeah, everything's got to be the same. The whole environment, same fans in the ground. Everybody.
Sure, if it was replayed,
You need to have the same temperature, same wind, everything.
If it was replayed, and then inevitably, like most games in the Premier League now, it then had to go to VAR for something. You'd just be like, oh, like it should be like eating like a 7-course meal and then going, yeah, can you eat this pile of slop as well for me, please? It'd just be horrible.
It would. Jim, I've got like 5 minutes.
Okay. Right, rattle through a few. So 5 minutes starting now, yeah?
Starting now, 5 minutes.
Right, okay. Americans in the Wild. Zach said we're asking for American fans who love the game of football to tell us what it's like being around some Americans that sometimes aren't as indoctrinated in football. So Zach says, as an American, my dad was the assist. Well, so he says. So this guy goes, my dad was the assist coach on my soccer team when I was on the under-12. Now, is that a typo, or does he think that an assistant coach is actually, in fact, an assist coach this whole time?
I think he's abbreviating it.
I hope so.
Abbreviating.
I hope so.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. When I was on my under-12 team at my local YMCA, the only insight he could offer from the sidelines was yelling, "Go to the goal! Go to the goal!"
Go to the goal.
I mean, I had a Sunday league manager who would go, "Don't defend, attack." We were like, "What?"
Yeah.
And at half time, he went, "Guys, it's so simple. Get the ball, get it out wide, cross it in, score a goal." Genius. Jim Bob, I'm an American fan, and I find it infuriating when watching my team, Columbus Crew, that they all chant "Kicky Wicky" over and over again. And then the entire crowd get their nipples out and start vigorously massaging them. They do this every time our team gets a corner. I'd like to see footage of that.
Yeah.
What on earth? Kicky Wicky, then you head to
We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Don't give up, guys. I know you won't. No one knows that joke apart from me and you, Flav. But anyway. Salvations 96. Nicknames. There was a guy in our village called Tom Thomas. Everyone called him Satnav. Tom, innit? Unnecessary.
I think he's nicked
Call
that.
it? Call
I've
it?
heard that before.
Yeah, I feel like
I've heard that before.
Okay. Ollie Carter. I like this. Unnecessary nicknames. Our five-a-side keeper is also called Ollie, says Ollie Carter. And after one confusing car journey to goals, where we both looked up every time anyone said our name, something had to change. We talked about calling him the Cat, like many people call keepers with sharp reflexes. But I already have a mate from home who's got that nickname, as he's a keeper as well. At this point, the guy driving us, who hadn't said a word in this conversation so far, suggested Panther. Since they're much bigger than cats, and this other Ollie was 6'6", it's now all anyone calls him. Panther.
Panther.
I like it. Sometimes
I mean, there's worse nicknames.
I like it. I like Panther. Best outs was a couple of weeks ago. So, what's a way of getting out of things? What are your best outs? Get more best outs. I think that's got legs. SWJ says the best out has to be when someone makes an incredibly bold prediction, then at some point along the way caveats it with, "I hope I'm wrong though. I really do." Bulletproof.
Yeah, that's good.
So true, isn't it?
That's good.
I don't want to be right, but I hope I'm wrong. But Chelsea may get relegated.
I'm there with Richarlison. I've been there. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong.
Oh, really? I just don't see it. Yeah. Nightmare orders. I had a disaster a couple of weeks ago. Dean Ferguson said nightmare order out for breakfast and thought I'd get some extra bacon, which was $6 for extra bacon. Out comes my meal and the bacon on another plate. One piece of bacon for $6. I was like, this is shit in my head. Wife actually asked what the go was. I don't know what it means. The waiter said it was what the deal was. The waiter said it was organic. Like, that makes a difference. We just said thanks.
Yeah, good English.
Yeah.
Proper.
Freddie.
Right, organic. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise.
It was organic.
Yes.
Still hungry though, aren't I? Freddie Freddie was sat in a lovely restaurant in Portugal by the harbour having a great time in the sun. I ordered the salt-crusted fish, fresh from the sea. Probably the saltiest thing I've ever put in my mouth, completely inedible. Left most of it, tipped generously and thanked the staff profusely. Only forwards. Big cuddler. For a bad order, I once accidentally ordered coleslaw as the side for my hungover Deliveroo KFC. I cried.
What would you wanted? You want mash, don't you? You want a mash. If you're hungover and you want a side from KFC, it's mashed potato.
Can I shock you? I'm okay with coleslaw. My wife she's a big
I like coleslaw.
Huge advocate of coleslaw, and I think it can lighten up certain meals. See, mash and KFC and chicken, that's too much for me.
Well, you're going to KFC. Well, it should be too much. The whole thing's too much, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can lighten it up. Can you lighten up with a bit of coleslaw? I just think it's an option.
Do you ever go for the rice? The rice is there.
No.
Who's fucking buying the rice? No. Who's buying the rice?
Chips. You got chips. We finish off some sweet spots, which again, so new bits for next week. Get in the comments, please. Best outs, things that get you out of trouble, right? Nightmare orders, where you've just had an absolute nightmare. You've ordered the wrong thing. You've got it wrong. And then sweet spots. So sweet spots are, for example, if you're going to play darts, you want to be, If you're playing darts, you want to have one drink, maybe, or Paul was it? 2 pints in. Tom Calvert, sweet spot. You're on a holiday, night 2, showered, changed, and ready for dinner after a day in the sun.
Yes.
Girlfriend's still in the shower. You take a beer out the fridge and you head onto the balcony.
Yes.
Knowing you have a good 40 minutes to enjoy a beer or two and soak in the peace and quiet. It's
mate.
That is class, isn't it? Perfect combination.
He nailed it.
Perfect combination of relaxed from the day on the beach, enjoying a chilled beverage, and savouring the meal and potential nosh to come. Sweet spot. And do you know what's important as well? You're clean and toasty as well, which is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, you just feel good. You put some nice clobber on, and the heat's gone, but it's still lingering a little bit.
Yeah,
so it's nice, it's temperate.
Yeah,
you're looking out. And you got a little tingle from the slight sun that you caught on your arm and your forehead, and you're looking out from the balcony, and the sun's going down. And it's beautiful crimson red in the sky, and you've got a beer, and you're sitting there, and I've got 40 minutes of just.
She'll
this
be
is
ages.
fine.
In your head, you go, she's going to be ages. She's going to be ages.
Yeah. Take your time, love. I'm fine.
Can I slight gentle addition here? Maybe you're in a hotel. Maybe you utilize the free dressing gown from the hotel. And
no, you need to be dressed up and ready to go.
Oh no! For me, but I can get dressed at any point. No, I don't want that. For me, I want to pop the dressing gown on, and so I can sit there and maybe have a little tickle of air on the old genitals there.
Okay.
Sit down.
Do you know what? Do you know what's a real fucking shame, Jim? Do you know what's a real fucking shame in this? Because there's a large proportion of men who use that time to go into the spare room and masturbate. That's the fucking shame. That's why we're all pigs. That's why we can't be trusted. You should be on the veranda looking out and enjoying it with a nice cool bevy, but you're in the room fucking masturbating to terrible porn, you fucking sickos.
That's dangerous though, isn't it? It's like, she
fun,
could go, have I got enough time? Or do I? It'll just be a quick one then. You just got cheeky power wank. I don't like to be rushed. I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to be rushed.
You can masturbate anytime, you fucking animal. Just sit on the veranda and enjoy the view.
Enjoy cold suds. And Barge, sweet spot. Pretty elusive, but getting the right height on your pillows when you're about to sleep. Head is supported. Neck isn't stiff. No dead arm. Sinus is clear. Quality. I really enjoy this. I really, really want sweet spots to be a really long-standing bit because I think it's a really nice, soothing way to end.
You can tap into this. You can tap into these sweet spots and make every part of your day better. We might have enough to complete an entire day of sweet spots.
Oh,
all day of sweet spots. So currently we've got 2. You got the chin. You have to be. It is consequential to where you are, but we have got the sitting down, relaxing period, might be on holiday, and then you've got the bit where you're falling asleep. I've also found the sweet spot I found recently is I'm lying in bed. I'm comfortable, but I'm not quite there. And then I think, I haven't flipped the pillow. Flip the pillow. This won't help you. This won't help you.
Wasted on me.
Flip the pillow, and it's wasted on you. And it's cold, and you're like, oh yeah. The cold side of the pillow is one of life's beautiful pleasures.
Do you know, I have the same pattern of play every night, even last night, right? Because I have two pillows. My missus has 2 pillows. I have 2 pillows, and I will go as I get into bed. I'll go every night because I know I feel like I have this. This is so me. I have the feeling of some form of guilt that I'm like, why am I not into pillows? Because as everyone knows, I sleep with no pillows on my front, right? But what I will do every night, I'll go into bed with an open mind, and I go, I'm going to lie on these 2 pillows. That's quite. I'm like, that's nice, you know. That's nice. And every night I do this. Every night I do this, right? I go chilling for a second. No, I'm not comfortable. One off, just one. Now, come on, give it a chance. Okay, maybe
you're grown up.
Then I'm like, yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, do you know what? Maybe on my front. Get on my front, and I'll give it a go for a bit. Nah, second one's off. And then I'm out. I'll never give up. One day it's just gonna click. Anyway. I hope you guys have had an enjoyable podcast. If you have and you would like to hear more, we do a mailbag each week. Link is in the description. Just £4.
Not about football.
No, it's
all things not football.
Not football. Yeah. And we're on Spotify, by the way, and Apple Podcasts and all that as well. So if you would like to follow that would be helpful. Yeah. And get your Ainsley Harriet celebrations out there.
Can I need to see these. You have, wherever you are, wherever you're playing, whatever kind of success you've had this week, I need to see videos of this Ainsley Harriet celebration. Just one thing before we end. Ollie Sates just mentioned something in the comments, because if you are a patron, you can watch this live and comment, and we read your comments as the podcast goes.
That's true.
But he mentioned you just got to get the regulator out. Now, the regulator, Jim, you might remember this. We did a podcast about sleep, or I used to do this thing called 15 Minutes. You can still listen to all of them. The 15-minute short podcast where we talk about all kinds of things. And one of them we talk about was sleep. And Jim was on there with us. And I have something called the regulator, right? Which is, if I'm hot, all I need is one leg outside of the duvet. And that's my regulator. My body's sort of in tune with itself then. Ollie also does it now. Since then, he also does the regulator, which is one leg out.
I thought you meant your wife. Not Ollie, your wife.
I mean, well, no, Ollie Sates.
In my head, there's 3 of you in a bed now.
if he also, wherever he is with his girlfriend, does the regulator. Now, Ollie, I've never mentioned this, but every time I bring the regulator out when I'm about to fall asleep, you pop into my head every single time. So just let you know, you're in my head rent free.
Final thing actually on sleep. Do you ever have this where, so say you're in bed with your missus or mister, and I don't know if you're like this, but I am. If like she's being affectionate and she put like her leg on you or like something on you, my head goes like this. It goes, ah. And then my inner monologue is like, get the fuck off me. Like, get off. How do I do this? How do I get her off without being like rude? Do you know what I mean? Get off. I want to sleep now. You're touching me. I'm tired. I'm touchy. Get off. And then but I'll always do like a little roll or something. Then I'm away. I'm like, roll away.
Yeah, but if you do a sigh as you wrote, if that's like, you know.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah. Anyway. Right. Yeah, enjoy your weekend. We will see you next week. Subscribe, click all the buttons that are important, and just enjoy your lives. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Gabosh.